What does it come to mind when we talk about one lens only? Let's see it together. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from One Lens Only, and today we're gonna discuss how to do everything with just one glass. Now, you might own several ones, but you only have one favorite, which is the one that you use the most of the times unless you have different needs. And for a few years, I was out and about using the 28mm on my Leica Q2 for two main reasons. First, I could not change it. Second, I wanted to be as pocketable and lightweight as possible with an EDC, so I was using the 28mm and eventually I was cropping in digitally just to try to satisfy all the needs that I had. Things changed when I had to switch and start shooting interiors, and so I purchased my Panasonic S5 Mark II X and I paired it with the 16-35 f4, so it was wide enough for interiors and bright enough because in interior, of course, you can set up the light as you want them to, and then also it was good enough for vlogging because 60mm was super wide. I could eventually shoot 4K 60 with a crop factor. It was a great challenge. It was a great solution, the 16-35. But then when I got the Sony, I realized a couple things. First, I was not shooting any more interiors, and so I didn't need to go that wide. And then second, I realized that 28mm for Europe is a bit too wide because you have way too many people in the frame, so it's more difficult to have composition. And I recalled why back in the days I was a 50mm shooter. I had my Nikon paired with a 50mm f1.4, and so starting to looking for alternatives. I was evaluating different glasses. You can have zoom glasses, you can have house glasses, you can have whatever your money can buy, but I didn't want to invest thousands of dollars in a glass because the latest Sony, they seem too much Transformers to me. With all those buttons and switches, I really want to stay simple, and also wanted to stay within the 50mm range. So I incurred into the Zeiss 55mm f1.8, which is a Sonnar FE 1.8 55 ZA-T star. So that's the glass we are referring to, and I'm using it for almost everything because when I want to have street photography downtown, I use this glass. If I need to shoot some B-roll, I don't have an ND for this glass, so I need to switch to 60 frames per second, so the shutter speed is 1/20th, and then I need to close down to f11, f16, but fortunately this goes down to f22, so it's not a problem if you want to respect the 180 rule. And then I realized I could also use it for talking head. Talking head, it was okay because you put the camera on a tripod, and so at a given distance you just need to go back enough to stay in the frame and to avoid being just the big face filling the frame because that would be weird. And so I was just setting the tripod and the distance and the mic, and that was good. Which the only thing that I cannot do with this is vlogging. Reason why, when I incurred into an offer for the Viltrox 20mm f2.8, which I'm using right now to record this episode, I said, okay, I take it. It's a one lens only for video and one lens only for photos. And so I want to show you the setup that I'm using right now. And so I'm covered for almost all the needs that I have because this is a great glass for photos and that is a great glass for videos. And that in addition to that, I only have one ND for the Viltrox and then the Sony boom mic, which goes into the hot shoe of the camera. So I don't even have to charge, plug in or mount lav mics anymore. So I'm not using wireless microphones anymore. I'm just using one camera, one mic and one lens at a time. So let's see together the setup. As you can see, it's also pocketable and lightweight. The camera is a small camera. It's a bit small for my big hands, reason why I was also pleased to receive also the additional grip. As you can see, this is the additional Sony original grip for the A7R that also fits the A7C Mark II. So since the camera was new to me, the previous owner was so nice to include it in the sale, and so I have room for my fourth finger, not for the pinky. So the pinky is always loose, but it's good enough for me having a proper grip with 4 fingers out of 5. And then I have this glass. This is not so big. The only thing that is a bit challenging is the petal. So when you mount, because you want to cover the flare, as you can see, it's almost double in size. That's the only thing. Oh, sorry, I was too close. Let me see if it focuses on the glass or not. Sorry, I don't get if the minimum focus distance is respected or not. Anyway, this glass, as you can see, it's almost double in size when you put the petal on. Otherwise, it will be so compact and lightweight, but of course it's not comparable to the Viltrox, because if you have a look at the video setup with the Sony A7C Mark II and the Viltrox 20mm, I mean, I don't need to go any smaller. I don't need the Panasonic S9. I don't need the Fuji XM5. I can do everything with this camera, which is small enough to me, which is long-lasting enough for the battery. I have a second spare battery, and which is the perfect companion for my one lens Sony. So please let me know down here in the comments which is your favorite glass. You might have 20 different ones, but I know that there is one glass that it's always on your camera most of the times, and also it has a special place in your heart. So please let me know what glass that is, what is the brand, and what is the focal length. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.